We can reverse the entry as a country. Enyaba, sa aircraft na ye freno helicopters na Ghana Army Armed Forces will use no. Woma ye perfo eye politicians. Ye the fafunu e the north eko Kumasi eko bebia. Ye the ye niam nyina in the good name of politics.
You were able to get and we were able to get all 8 of them.
Say Yadu Omagu bottom any other. There was no other alternative at the time, I suppose.
The mode and the modus, far so causes the body of the departed soul, military homicide unit, or specialized forensic or investigated, or mere person, woman the causes and casino. Name Benya as a regional minister and ever validated say one black box. So be fire and no mistake. A day, even screwdriver for canals, what these sources. Until we are telling ourselves, say, forensic pathologists be any the whole country. Obetima penche, obetima examine say, bone weight is related to this bone. That bone is related. Then what is the purpose of your call ebuni konfanoche?
And I remember very well, say, Honorable Omane Boamah stated, say, the state of our aircraft in the possession of Ghana Air Force is nothing to write home at.
And then a parliament acting once into Honona assembly said, and then the bit me the problem number.
I was here to rent a see or a dancia crofuma a bang or boise helicopter crasher, a crash here or mountain soar. Sisi Obia a Kahwa Seminole. Honorable Alasi, our year from planes and pictures our fro pain. Name put Dr. Omane Boamah are complaining about this helicopter pain. Nano, whether it is true or not, sir, and opposite chere. Sounds not Dr. Farouk Alwahab here, or Ashanti Reg minister, who or Honuma say, or boy, Emma bodies, or more a bar from the mountain in Newapa. Nano and a Farouk Alwahab HS and Kay Crăsh say Kobasa and what you any kind tea Honorable Alasi.
Honorable, Uka baby, Nampesa Uma Ghana for Nyan TABM. Was it the same helicopter? No, were you on board? Was it another day or?
Yeah, it was another day. It was another day. It's about 1.5 weeks ago.
The same helicopter?
Yeah, that same helicopter. Wow. The Z9.
Yes, maintenance, you know, I don't know. Do you think when you were on board, na mu science be say helicopter na in a good shape?
In actual fact, let me be very realistic here. Abra helicopter need 2 feet. Yeah, was not a 2 feet by my company. I mean, Ukraine na makomanda me.
Why? First time I will full plane in Tiana na helicopter in Tiana.
My full planes are afro.
Inti other in Tiana na what's na wakuma tow yem.
Because now I say the sound I was hearing from the engine. Odia we use a sender be and what engine be sign sound and to make it say whether a new engine, service engine or unserviced.
You could tell, right?
Me, to my personal view, I say sound na maintain papa.
Na engine sound no and soundy.
And soundy.
Na a sound like to ana.
Exactly so. Now to say vibration be very warm. You say helicopter ankasa na vibration warm, but this one I exceed some expectation. Yeah, you can have the mindset same sentence. There's something wrong
somewhere. Yeah. So a taking off Sado. Now what in a radius? So where were you guys going?
I don't know who did that too.
We see in your year.
The academy on America.
Radius.
And one the Bomusa editor and show from Akostumbo to Afram Plains. And until we move for like 1.5 hours all over Afram Plains, as I take another 45 minutes at the back.
Okay, and what they call and I'm the buyer.
Actually,
I don't be see pepe. But honorable, who said the sound of the engine, did you make any reports?
In actual fact, at that time, I couldn't have made any reports because the people I would report to are the experts on the ground, and they are the expert engineers who were also in the flight with us. When I woke up for complaining,
Honorable, I feel that. Honorable, idea. And Kawadi wano dia do bebia. Enti nyame ye wadomo a mu take it off. Mo call lande, mo sanso take it off. Mo ba lande ye no. Nyame abom ho ban. But who say the shape of the helicopter no enye. So you could have, tell anyone in authority and bibisa. I mean, your voice.
Don't forget, I was on that flight with the majority leader.
Okay.
That's the leader of government business.
Okay.
The leader of the house. And more so, a few weeks before then, the defense minister was in the parliament, on the floor of parliament, to answer questions on the state of our aircrafts, mainly the private aircraft, the presidential jets. And then the discussion zoomed into these helicopters are Ghana Air Force for war. And I remember very well, Honorable Omane Boamah stated, the state of our aircraft in the possession of Ghana Air Force is nothing to write home.
Not just on parliament, right?
Okay. That's question time, and you say, okay, say. Most of the aircraft we have in possession of the Air Force, they are not in good shape.
Okay. Omanye bibi amfa ho. Then ono asanso kofo sa helicopter no. Right.
Yeah, I say why wouldn't that had been my cry. We are more of a curative minded than preventive minded. These two words will never depart from my mouth until if I can do my little, or we all can do a little to change the situation on this country. Say ye too kind bebre. Obe who say engineer engineer bibi who I like a machine. A new one cry. A na said say every 1 hour, every 2 hours. As I say, checking the efficiency of system now. But what shall you mind? As I say, where the CCR nearby, CCR mono, into me. So we are waiting for a crack, a malfunction, a dysfunction.
Hello.
And this is what Ashanti Regional Minister Ekae.
And the mother and Paniform near Juma over the past 2 days. Now I see two from
Yeah, I mean, one video called viral, when now Honorable Amakofi Amani. I don't know, say Amani na wo born there, but the shock in his face, Nipa Bebrena who say Biane Amani and na born. At what point during the event, and I would say Asemi?
And the call at the program now church and the intelligent operative say this is the signal we're picking. You see, the cherry and the original stage we were a bit disorganized. I don't know more national anthem. It took a time before we even realized that more national anthem.
Yes.
And just as the national anthem now I had to go to Omane Boamah, Kofi Boamah. And at that time, we didn't have the full picture.
Yes. Whether
it was emergency landing or it was a crash or whatever the details of it may be. At the same time, we didn't equally want to create any panic whatsoever to disrupt the process. The reason why we had to manage it well, so that until we had the full details, there wasn't no need to cause any panic.
Yeah.
And the circumstance,
And I think one other video, so and it's from event, one kasa personally, Efro, Bepono or Brofu Yedruho. Why did you go through all of that? Adai.
So, Nikodru, forest, no.
Yes.
Now the narrative is with free forest, no, air copy for national, Emua. And briefing on Saturday, mommy say, I'm going to work life in you ashes. It's in Kayenja and later, I'm going to rescue team. But I catch you, I'm going to say, me a doctor, it takes a while before say, about the nominal bit machine, completely bit machine. And between the time my needs, anytime you could do or no, you could still know that you can recover some of the remains.
Yeah.
So I felt say,
That's true.
I can't just say the first no some uncle for my say omonko. Bianca, my age Bianca is reasonable. And we have to mobilize the community youth together with security personnel to try and then see what we can do. And thankfully, we were able to get at least almost the 8 ministers and we were able to get all 8 of them. At least we are able to say our ability to bring these bodies down will lessen the pain to a larger extent than say, just to believe it that like that. So that was the reason why I needed to lead and make sure we will get these things done on that same day. And also, mind you, if we had waited a day before, definitely decomposition would have started.
Yeah.
And it would be difficult to even go into that thing, which would create a lot of issues. So my instincts told me that we had to do everything that day and just that time and make sure anything we needed to do to make sure they down, we will have to do that.
Yeah. Some criticisms of how they were carried. Say Omagu bottom any day. There was no other alternative at the time, I suppose.
But at the comfort of home and at the comfort of where you are there, you may see and then you may pass your comments, which I don't judge anyone.
Sure.
We were the players on the field. As at that time, that was the only option we could explore to be able to make sure we brought our people down.
Yeah. But this criticism about video on social media, no, what Jen is saying, what do you think about criticisms now, Abano?
So we are now in a learning process. And as you see, I am very busy to manage all these social media platforms myself.
Yes.
And you have to receive a call, say, this issue on your platform, can you have a second look at it? And say, complete details.
Okay.
And I just have a review at it. I have to ignore it. I need to make repairs. I needed to do that. And most of these videos, some already your page, they were videos that others than I and I'm pursue on more platforms. And then the administrator loaded it. But be as it may, we are all in a learning curve. Whatever the issues become, you look at it constructively and see how best you become a better version of yourself.
That's true.
So Farouk Alwahab question ya obusa ne se enti enema eye kromafo ne nipa bebre ekọ field na accident no esie na ebi mo esisa part ni bi kromafo ni bi kura part ni bi ne bi ye de omope ina impo Ashanti regional minister ene ba announce about black box ewo airplane mo record the sound record the flight proceedings ni nyina no Ashanti regional minister ena ebe release se omohu black box no e den na armed forces eye ene said ye omo sisa bodies no egu koku bottom.
Said the car in accident. Said the ship or vessels in accident, aircraft in accident. The big deal of it is the fact that aircraft is the most safest means of transportation as compared to anything, including car. Aircraft in a country Ghana. Who said the big deal and how taken as a result of one single and now one aircraft accident, compared to on a daily basis, even as Yekasano pay 267,000 kilometers square country called Ghana. 16 regions called Ghana. If the statistics is there to prove how many accidents do we get on the road? How many accidents do we get across the nation, regional level, district, metropolitan, even in the city? I claim lives. How do we even treat that one? How do we see that one? Does that mean, say, accident, carnage on the street, gory accident here, gory accident there? In a year all long, Ghana in Africa, I've always said, we in Nigeria film because of the size and the numbers. But averagely, yenya accident, almost every other country. And say accident about for the first time. And your first time, I think said there was a history or a certain records to say since 1972, yenya 4 military accidents. Nyamini ediniye, aircraft, a machine, and your airport, yenya any major crash. Nyamini ediye. Flights are Air Ghana, yenya major crash. Nyamini ediniye. Cote d'Ivoire, Moma experienced a major commercial aircraft, which was Ethiopia Airlines some times ago. Ekoto, Abidjan Beach Hall. Several countries on the continent, Egypt, or experience be. And one would say, among ourselves, a year dear and a bang, but helicopter accidents. AC, America, military, Australia military, UK military near that day. Yeah, na bigger scale because of say any commercial jet. What is this? Your mom pay say BNC, but we can also say the country cannot be fortified. Say indefinitely say be a incident be a tisa Emma. The idea is say Ubia some person Emra or no so and I ain't you or so. That is where we are now. Now, young she said, and then you beat me advert, and then the accidents neighbor. One, machine itself, the technical ability. Machine itself, the maintenance culture, the Air Force itself, sign almost service machines, and yes, the human error that could also trigger on a part of any pilot. There's also another side of it as a human error, the experience of also a pilot in terms and at the time or no pilot in any crisis. And this also comes to bear because your pilot to be also a fly 38 years, 40 years in the air, or celebrity is from a single incident. And also so it has to do with experience, it has to do with the machines we use here. In the case of the urban, me worry, enemy disturbances, and say, we can reverse the entry as a country, but when accident of an aircraft occurs, the next thing that comes on the mind, our mind, is the safetiness of the other and the future for such thing to happen. Yanka safetiness, yanka safety in Huasem. That is my biggest concern. You're addressing the issue, the root cause of the particular accident. Sadly, we cannot. But we cry the M11 SIM say, Yinya sofu bianca say, or call a hokra kunyani womu. Said in the case, Yinya yaba, yes, sister in your baketwa. Your friends, Ebony, we are. Where I say, I didn't go too much. Yinya sofu sumkwa kunyaninu. Castro incident by where I say, Yuna, ya confirm, cry say, Yajidis wound, Yinya sofu biso consume Nusaku Yinaba. But we there, thank God, Omentimi Obian cancer. But now back to the issue of rhetorics. And the issue of technical people who supposed to be speaking on the issue of this accident. Yentesa technical side. And in the media who y'all said, to me, I would say, the Ghana Air Force, they've really, really disappointed me. And I believe so as many other Ghanaians. And of course, clearly, the Air Force commander must come up. He must really set up. He must really address the issue. It should not take excuse me, a politician be or tiny baby, they can talk about the political side of it. They can talk about, yes, the emotional side of it. They can deal with the death side of it. A military is defense. They are the defense of the nation and they defend the country. Omno personnel. It is a problem about defense side that all of us are in jeopardy, all of us. Because aircraft, no, you were soldier for more Ghana army. I've been to aircraft muda. But sa helicopters, no, Ghanaian politicians are for the military, na ye Omadian. I repeat, sa aircraft na ye friend helicopters na Ghana army armed forces will use no. Woman ye perfo politicians. Ye the fafunu the north, eko Kumasi, eko babia. Ye in the good name of politics. Inti hono na assembly ni say, then the bit me the problem naba. Ye benya a very bad communications from the radar control or flight control tower. So we bit makas a flight ayira. Flight ni ira wahin. Flight ni ira breben. A bibe no who say flight na ira. Na himfa na be suspect say na flight na ebewo at the time unya notification sa ira. Flight ni ira 912 now see 2 year na 912 ye kasa flight at take over. That is the time we free landway no so an tarmac where you need tire free so. Wa pagani mu eno na the time. Enye time or ye na dwen say or call or boase dance na dance nemum at that time no 912 na schedule time in the 912 no take there be technically aviation records no 912 your time no apagani mu awie inti yanhwe time de beto hosa flight na ira inti prat ni ira ye no wo just skeleton news just like that when they can say military spokesperson Asante to be corrected if the name was not mentioned. Say captain or squad notes or whoever, Veronica Ajo. Say Ghana Army or Air Force has lost their helicopter, which is a dancing bound. Me pacho, some message no they ban. Is that how to deliver a message in such crucial circumstances? It comes with details. It comes with times. It comes with records. Because Ghana Kotoka International Airport, Air Force for Nomudia. Ghana Civil Aviation was a manager of the airport. Kenya Ghana Police. And you what the unita or control the airspace of Ghana. Flight, Friday say, control towers, radar tower, tower. You omsuna control. Now let's get the impression say. And ya only Ghana aircraft na ye namho aircon helicopter no kwa. As we speak now that we are talking, there could be over 100 or 50 or 60 aircraft, passenger aircraft, all fly the space of Ghana. Ghana is not in isolation. We're an international partner of the airspace. Into flight to be HM, Ako Nigeria, and we'll be the other side, Sahel neighbor, over Ghana. The same thing a flight to be America from somewhere in Asia. But you're saying,
oh, Missy, near Okanyana, no, or songs of Mayanga, Okan could see them aircraft, no, then no make up say aircraft net two, then yes, yeah, young baby for aircraft net two, yes, yeah, military say, Uhun aircraft, time my military at that home website say aircraft nairano, ne aircraft na share into investigation and the Bemi they see. Thank God, some of us raised the issue on a platform say aircraft here they can once my black box. Now they mdi hu ya and say in the future nyame masa be mabiem. But Air Force man infantry team say helicopter here ya the helicopter na hwehwe. Say helicopter top format ya the helicopter and the coho. Me hu as we speak say ya mfa Ghana Air Force parachuters, paratroopers and the army anko coding up. Emma a fine set. And then investigation ebetima reveal timamufo wonwura mu hono ati area hono ekosesa ne nade ni bi ekofa bibi na meka twa so say the mode and the modus ye far so kosesa the body of the departed souls. Thirdly, na ye Air Force, defense minister, politicians, anybody anyhow. Na country ni ye ni airbag.
Any body bag, this is bodies. Any body bag, ye timid decently, this is a nipa, na a military for a you duty no, almost camera and no video, and a team for Nesson. Sadiano as a country, yen chasso. Name we are all keenly waiting, say. And then black box, which is a equipment, the information yenya yabeti this year. Now of course Ghana any analyzer any stimulator nti yenti me analyze no ha ebeko Paris and ebeko America we believe say eko omuma search findings no Ghana fonti DC ye abusuafo pesi hu Ghanaian for pesi hu Air Force na so nkese empese ohu politicians ye hu eno pa ho a in the future who communicates on technical issue information be any nim Ghana Police Act, it seems 146, establish this particular thing, air incident, anything in what airport police station. Yeah, drills several times we see a rescue operation. When they involved, the police involved, army involved, aviation involved, other collaborators, collaborators involved. Me pacho e we haven't seen the rescue team. Headed by Ghana Civil Aviation and the Ghana Airport Police. Yente Ghana Airport Police. But you were rescue unit our country Ghana Airport Police di marketing because we airport was. Into rescue operations di marketing yente bibia. Yan police homicide unit. Say womu na ye specialized military homicide unit or ye specialized forensic or ye investigated. Omi specialized womu na ko sankase no. Name ye benya as a regional minister and ebe validate say wo black box. Sa niema no enuntina black box ehun hia. So be fire and okoye mistake e even screwdriver kwa kana what this sources. And this also means see from all that matter no ho. Me mom de no na ne hia me. But we see means see from that is okay. Enema mienu e hia ne say ye nim de si ye. Enema mienu e hia ne say Air Force 4 so me Air Force there. Yes, we no I expose to say Air Force and man for helicopter anko am ye who say Air Force member ATTC ye who say soldier for akoda the accident site and a crime scene and as a scene na event okay no near coding off near matimamu ni bia anko for the nua ne banchiaba ene yiyi niema. How can we know which have raised an issue say e be quite non-friendly fire being a hate flight? How can we know into say a particle and I said a chance in be meta be da baby? The even shifting from the place that it is could also distort certain investigation. Thank God. The design of aircraft, a helicopter, and most aircraft, a bottle design. I physics. In Tiatoa, Nitino, and then the bigger shape in bit my brain, bit my book. But Nitel, no, it's so strong, say, it just share a survival. Machine bought for my to baby, a honor black box on the ship. Now call for a woman need any idea. A woman yet Ghanaian, sir. Men fans say almost support and almost help incident. Abra young who soldiers in the police were home. Almost so we man no me pian to her. Almost so we man no me pian to her. But even so, Kofa, aviation investigators, accident investigators, baby, a machine position can give a clue as what would have happened or what happened in the air and send a machine better form. And these are the critical issues, sir. Me raise it through medium. Once again, say, remote flight control unit monitors now what you read down or match a time machine 2 year baby I know draw or mess ye na baby or draw no messing no free read down so no and then na Air Force so ye say when him routine no oko and think Air Force no page ni with another troops now we follow up and then now ye soldier the soldier say me God forbid say o helicopter take run now the second one back am you got to do it Omane de hu yan say omutimi hu nyansa enya hoden kofa skeleton the buy. That is not what we were looking for. That is not what we are losing. Into investigation process to me if it's as a country I expose handling of the skeletons or the bodies as a country I expose them. Then again Ghana for PhD courses in forensic as your friend is saying forensic courses. Tech will be, Kevas will be, Legon will be. Yeah, we need to specialists. Yeah, what pathologists? And we are telling ourselves, say, forensic pathologists be need the whole country. Obetima pinch it. Obetima examine say bone weight is related to this bone. That bone is related. Then what is the purpose of your kolebuni konfanoche? What is the purpose of your pathologists? What we experience? 137 military hospital. A military hospital. Who a military hospital Kumasi? A konfanoche for being. Who 2 brigades, I full battalion or now the next close, maybe a Ubetimako. Regional Minister Mom Muram. What was the 2BN doing? What was the commander doing? We didn't see that. Where military were and your military and a funny body. Defense military were a military and a funny body. Aden Amudi Sebi, skeleton, Ediato Sebi, farmers and Womoson. Now, and what Ghanaian culture and the chase said, Sebi will be where the Nishabotum. Omi kuku anaso omi banchi anakasava. These are the issues, sir.
Mimi feel say now reckon Ghana forces and a flight control unit Ghana Civil Aviation sang about when you say ebe about ebe yentem dodo esan say investigation net say we be never out into when you say sarcasm entem so esan say et say what your investigation and san won san yemen we raising when you show investigation besum na or the answers abraham since then we be kan aba
we are not kids. I'm sorry to use the word. Countries of the world, Air Malaysia Airline Olusu 370 passengers or Russia site, several passenger accidents, passenger commercial flights within a matter of seconds. Accident in the case of America, in the case of all over, flight control, and I said, flight, your friend say, radar control tower. Immediately, no man releases the voice and voices. And into your voice recorder, our machine, more. And the voice recorder, no more control unit, no more dear. And the flight in Kwana form and the Asia. Who won't see a not all. What are you saying? Say, too early. Ni too early, ni dear. And too early, ni say, as at 11 a.m. Now Air Force now work and say a year too early. Now the website no say air report ne missing aircraft. It's a joke. In too early ni there he say. Ni too early ni say a crash for report say about 10 na machine crash here. It's about 10 and machine here 10. Na Selano, Ghana Civil Aviation air report say the machine is out of your radar. What are we talking about here, Bofa? In aviation accident, aircraft accident, nobody has patience to wait. We're talking about families, we're talking about people. In Asia, the only investigation that comes after is the black box. But initial investigation, you can't tell me it doesn't happen like that. Please bear it in mind. Whichever way you look at it, it is not too early. We needed to know time or lose contact with the aircraft. You can't tell me, say, 1 man time, no, and I will be chain, I'm a radar control for, and a black box, no, a message, baby, say, time I will lose. We want to find out who made the error. We want to find out or communicate here now. There is no way, even a pilot, or even or crisis in the air. No matter how or no a machine, air scale it down. Technically, when you control, when you say machine, you call Sabi, Yami and find the crunch and or backasa, or back the problem. No, radar control, they should have it. Unless they are telling us, flight navigation system, MA Lucia. Name on flight navigation system, Lucian, and no way, and answer whatever. Home radar control, they couldn't control to tell him, say, who low, an hour high, an hour east, and now you are close to mountains. A hundred dear Samri, no, and Kaba, nobody has time to waste. Medical culture say the police act has established a rescue our airport. Woman drill several times every 2 years. Be no more yet. And your team no order that. Team no one abekasa. And to me no me na yet move for and I say if you see any technical people, you don't need to sit. The only thing we will wait. They should not wait until say yeah bet black box. No, they have their information. And now control one. Mean chair and China say President Krakoye day or overhaul the navigation system. And I've said and I've mentioned say and no dear Ghana penny for Medomina say yeah airport control tower flight control towers through hono. Ye have machine radar no echo up to Nigeria. Nigeria for the Nuha. Echo up to Wagadugu. Mbobusa womu. Enti flight be our airspace of Ghana biano. Into a flight no. At the day Nigeria that day no other flights and lose on the radar. Yeah, who other flights are missed on the radar. Now Air Force now will take climate and so on. We only radar control for a monitor 24 hours. So flight in Iran 11-hour reported flight missing. 10 o'clock now flight in Asheville. These are the questions.
Idea we are bay and if you see a politics won't treachery can be a political undertones. Na and no them.
Okay. Ghana. Ensure I politics. Ensure why would do why you know Fiji crown you do politics with it. Oyira said one in a country baby I do no. So on any better crowd politics room. And unfortunately, it has become a canker, it has become a sickness, it has become an illness, it has become so many things. The country, I would say, is wrongly adjusted. In other words, maladjusted. Wrongly adjusted, say, this is a very fine nation. We need any rebellion, terrorism, we need any uprising. We need mass uprising in several years. We'll go through the phases of revolution. I ended the phase of revolution. And your Fourth Republic, I could night government without any single major uprising. Regardless, I handle power from 1992 successively to other governments. Now, on the political side, the politics head of the country is not the executive, the presidency, the political head, and where politics is played, the football stadium of politics, the parliament. That is the representation of the political space of the entire country. 276 parliamentarians represented the Ghanaian 276 constituency. Beautiful. Country being on the African continent. And the parliament and parliamentarians are about 60%, all of them seasoned lawyers, except Ghana. Country being, and to say a country bia, ye serious, ye. And the men in NPP, the men in NDC need the governments any development infrastructure Kenya mu kojayen, Ethiopia mu kojayen, Botswana mu kojayen, Namibia mu kojayen, serious nations on African continent yenyini chewom enyine kojayen, Egypt mu atra na yentimi nyese ye cohesiveness bi na your parliament ni mienu. This country is ripe for what is called maybe union government, or is ripe for senka yentimi two parties in interest say African country ni ya bre politics na doson. We cannot run elections like the China communist system ground where Timsha baby a China or in the country I could do. Monarchy systems a kingdom where baby o makudu. Yeah, they are telling you democracy nasi. And to the men, a woman in our classmates, the sad aspect of it in say, Uko parliamenta, now at the committee level, so Ghana schools bear 10 home students in go parliament. The Upoku warriors, the prempers, this woman a year now for 4. And they agree and disagree, say, your developmental plan as I come to a point, say, our country, say, no, Yankee home, Yanti and Wasi, Yenya work out, Yen deal with the country's issue. Now, the whole can say about politics, yes. With here remarks in Libya, it is only sad and very heartbreaking. Say, a legislator, our parliament, now we can say, and we see Amianto aircraft. This all has to do with the division. The way a parliament. Now, if the country is focused, and if the parliamentarians are focused, and if the political space is focused, president and the manager, short-time manager, but parliament remains there. Anything your parliamentarians, ordinary parliament as about for 31 years. Tell me, Ghanaian president, what's not 31 years? Your parliamentarians are only a season work for 4 terms, or you say 16 years. President Ben did 16 years. So if you're talking about where laws are made for the land, it is the parliament, which we know. And then Romaye. And then a parliament say you agree on consensus. You agree on one developmental plan. You agree on one infrastructure plan. You agree on one defense plan. Papa, Ghana on spending in defense. Ghana is defense. Quote me.
Are we united as a
in terms of material
and young culture? Is it intact?
Your culture ban now can answer me. But you also your culture ban.
Yeah, maybe says in your queen are we united as a people?
Are you listening? The beautiful thing of this country is that we are divided at the political ends. But united as a country, there is no country on the continent of Africa that is united more than Ghana. I've had a chance and I've worked with international organizations all my life. There's no continent of the world I'm yet to visit. There's no country out of 54 countries in Africa. I know about 52. I know almost everywhere in Europe and as well as if you're talking about country or unity, cross-tribal marriage, cross-racial, not racial, cross-tribal marriage, cross-clan marriage, Ghana tops all. Your friend, religious tolerance, Ghana tops all. And intina, excuse me to use as a reference, and tokwasi bokwa intime eskeleti enko frapra land. Bogatanga, and tokwasi intime nko dagumba land, and tokwasi intime nko ha. That is how the strength and the strongness of our cultural system no settings in here. In Konya Alabanyo, Omako how many years? Chance walk room or the next uncle Omonte. Frafreni wari Ashanti wari within. It is all over. Ghana parliamentarians not on. Kwanam koye roko. How many of them now are in a tribal person? Women now are different tribe until the country is strong. Your strong culture. Na ya himfo. Any religion. Your friends say your traditional settings. And they keep this country. Politicians are trying to divide the country. It has never been ahead of politics, ahead of elections. Be with all remarks. The country is still united. The country is together. Ebaya womusuno sabi nipa no for NDC for nkwandesu obi esu vice president. Look at how I call her former vice president the only other political divide but don't let them do. The country has a strong culture. Your politics any strong culture. Your politics any strong tradition. Your politics and it is too immature, which we are forcing to say we are mature. We are not. So we need to rediscover and go back and try to say, nature your politics in here. Because we see politicians, cry remarks on the floor of parliament. I'm sorry to say, they are too immature. A lot of them, I will use the word blankly, said they don't make even sense. Some of them don't make even sense. Yeah, they don't make sense. They can't. This is our culture, and don't see a problem. No
children, are they kids?
Well, I'm just saying. Okay, then we need political maturity on the floor of parliament, and they say, Mitimika. We need political maturity. We need mature presentation. Anything a country in Edaho, do we have to? Also, them Galam say yes. Do we as a country 6 years, 8 years of independence? And Kauji say Galam say 170 years. Nipa say na wu Galam say go to smaller nations or mine to say Ghana, Sierra Leone. You more than 50 years in advance in terms of development. Sierra Leone question the mining laws. Question the Guinea the mining laws. Kwasha Botswana and the mining laws. Kwasha South Sudan mining laws. And you say me and come maturity and him find your laws from parliament. And then tina one single issue. Say the root cause of this accident. Yes, responsible.
They've made a lot of decisions. We're a human institution, we make mistakes. But I know interest born out of immaturity. I know they know.
Papa, me can say greater part. Tell me, Obeka Kumasi Road at Wasem. How many times any ati ya lunch? How many times Niaji grants? How many times Niaji aid? How many times Niaji loans? West African Highway, Takradi Road, Nipa Wusucha country, Ibiawi Kumasa, that comes next. West African High Road, other countries, have you visited Cote d'Ivoire in recent times? Go to Cote d'Ivoire. Hassan Ouattara, I may not support the political democracy system. But Koshe Nyama, why 15 years, country of free war, compared to Yenya 32 years, and still counting of your friend is saying democracy, a democratic government. It is also me and I'm saying, and I'll say it again.
All right. And Mr. Wahab, yeah, and the issue of roads nkrofo politics was asemu and non so wadwene kire wo den wo ho yo.
Okay. And no, then again, roads, contracts, roads, allocation, roads, that's supposed to be a legacy project. And yet, my radio, my studio, a angel, a honey, a roads contract. And then angel, and I instructed government. The roads, any near message is part of a development and infrastructure agenda of a country. It is all Busamia, once again, baby, I laws. Say Yankoye roadway parliament. And then Omaya Fahon. And then a road plan it here. Yaka every government be about or the road agenda. My roadway, ya roadway. The same parliament also somebody comes to refute the allegation. Say road now also in yenye. Yengo pictures, billboards, roadway ya eba yes yenye. And all these arguments, no na mibisa say. So busa ye road sir. Road accident as compared to flight accident. As you know, there in the Ekum Ghanaians from January 1st, Ebepim and Namino say 9th. Nipa do send a woo on road accident. One day to me claim life of how many into road accidents and also so one of the reason. And then the American found and say, can we use this accident here as a way? Said now, no, the politicians must assemble and gather. No, beyond find a political t-shirt and twinchain. No more focus to say, what is our road plan? The current president, current government, NDC, MPP, are you prepared to support the agenda? Namu say open discussions. Now you created the avenue. Say in a region of 16 regions, you know, every government be out, baby out. Of course, there's no 100% government. So we have 3 or 4 major roads in our region. CNSA and infrastructure. NSA and 80% of the country roads infrastructure and Kaya. Your program is saying, we're back and we are baye adu medela. We're back the political agenda non said because for the party manifesto and they're running on mine. And some of us have come out to say, no country has succeeded using a party manifesto. Because it's designed by certain entities within a party, and the concentration is how they will retain power, regain power, check on their grassroots, not to develop the nation to that extent. And you don't win like that. You win and succeed in money in the country. Whereas what developmental agenda, nobody can go out, nobody can go listen. You have to stay on the plan. In this Senana do dan kwakufa the government to koyeno. It is incumbent on John Mama, His Excellency, ne shoulder say, so kwaso. No also be 4 years in year, wa also bano, also abetrans, papa ye ni sanke wie. En kienya hospitals wo nwuram. En kienya hospitals wo nwuram. Kien timi nye enyema any priority bi ama country no, but politically because our the manifesto me so ye no the year day e win. Is that how we rule a country? Is that how we run a country? And Kobasa, I also a school die a senior any students, any teachers, any access road. It's all about politics because we want to impress the people because a manifesto niche say ya call hano, ya promise or hinma or hinui, and the other we like it or not, as ya koye. And then I koye chrome fini. Now koye third road. A chrono one end to another end. Name of the access road in a dim class for Sebi Chronima, every crocus moba, and no would be an fason, now cocoa fason, and the on your name of Wakwaya on chance or light. What sense does it make? What sense does it make? Develop through an agenda of state, through an agenda of a country, through an agenda, a parliamentary approval. I will be intimate. Is that what you are saying?
Program war, Galamse, Galamse no, Okon. In
a country where we live in, I'll be very surprised if they will be able to root out Galamsey. I'll be very surprised, these two parties, if they will be able to deal with the issue. Because we have political entities. Our women in our parliament. I mean, no say a bisu program, our non Galamsey site. Our watching what distancing. Ye Jumamano, NDC ye, MPP ye, Obia, Obitimaka Senya no cre. The power of the individual living in the bush. the power of individual living in the forest. Onunu benya that boldness, obenya that kind of courage. So oko ne nsuo oko akutu amna no. Your district assembly, your district security, your metropolitan chief executive, your police district police command, and your regional police command, and your the chief, our so traditional settings, traditional rulers. So if you have this, and your resident National Investigation Bureau officer within every district in Ghana, and your the police commander within every district in Ghana. Police squad is almost police regions. I saw some Ghana 16 regions. Man, police region on follow on Ashanti Regional Police Command. And Tinkadena FSA. So if we have all this, and you want all the regional security, and you want all the district security, and you want all this in your mama Bubudin, and yes, our MP in the area. What are we talking about Galamsey here? What are we talking about Galamsey? No law. Because when to me introduce the shoot and kill. But you must say, Yanko Ghana jail, your friend say, and someone, Yanko Kumasi Central Prison, Yanko Ankafo, any other jails. Yanko show nipa back was 7 jail sentence because you're got to Galam. So, what much be? Can you show me one? Can you show me one? But then that brings you, for politicians listening, say, we are a country of 240 million population. We need one single political fugitive for our country, we say. We need one single military officer. We need a group of military or police. What the uniform again to say the police and come here and say, and to say the Chasela Moyen. We need rebel bush. And only terrorism will bush. We need Ansawad will bush. We need Ansadin will bush. We need Al-Qaeda will bush. We need Boko Haram will bush. We have clear bush in the UN Charter. Ghana is a green peace, green forest. They need one military helmet will bush. Into problem, they say, no, Galamsey problem. Who give them the power? Who give them the equipment? Sebi Krasi near or no, what in a Krasi? Our young boy, 1 year Jumada, who is scared to excavator. Oscar the Koto, a year friend say, Champagne. Oscar the Koto sa trommel na ya de wash it, Oscar. Find a dinner man command. Don't we know those who give them equipment? What have they done with those equipment? Yeba near Kwaji, near Shibi, ne Biaira. And some of us have said it's on serious country and a bayasa because who pesa Emribia, His Excellency and the government, that previous government, Onkoji Garamse, Onkochi excavator by 500 Jatu. Some of us were saying, now our district assembly rules, who are feeder rules. Namonchi Namon training in Ankogu Park, Bisnamon Farmer Metropolitan for Nye Juma, Metropolis in your district assembly for Nye Juma, assembly for Nye Juma. Yes, no. Some machines in a shin grew on. Okanko for Sechucha, Amobisusu de Agneska, scraps. Country Benny. And the Garamse, Papa. You bet my all kind of the program be a bad lunch biano. It never was because we are not short of launching programs. Ghana is not short of making laws. Ghana is not short of creating commissions. Ghana is not short of creating teams, security agencies. We are not short of it. You created those things in any other country. Youth in this, youth in that, youth in this, youth in that. In our result. That is not the solution to the Galamsey issue. And you can't solve it like the way we are approaching. We can solve it only from the parliament. And instruct the president.
Mr. Chesanto, final concluding remarks. But I issue now, Mr. Alwahab, who be about say prison one far. When I Galamsey a bit ni prison, many records of that. Until I can answer. And me did say,
so bet my busa. Who bet my busa prison service? And so anything I'm a journalist. I've given you a challenge.
I'm say I guess a better as but Brasson.
Abusia adwumapa on demand service for na eka say adwumapa on demand for say o pese wo di dwuma bia nkankanga na fo am obrochire a obehia nipa didi so ya tilers anasa building constructors fashion designers chese auto mechanic bia o pese wo di say dwuma bia ma no obekọ ye app no so na wa download adwumapa on demand service ayesa so obekọ www.adwumapa-on-demand-service eno so bekọ ko hu adwuma di edi nyina ni trimu po nyina no se ye boawo ema wokɔkɔfo obi ana wodi dwuma bi a nipa a wokɔkɔfa no esan sɛ wonim na kyira kwan bia anti no to bi kura nipa na gisika wie open here na hu no adwuma pa on demand fo aba ama sa ha nyina afiri hɔ esan sɛ obi bia yɛde bɛma wo so woni dwuma bia ma no yɛayɛ background checks ehu sɛ sɛ nipa yi onim ne wɔyɛ enye kwankyɛn trefa ni bia wonim de wɔyɛ ene yɛfa no ɛdena ma wɔ na nigisɛm ba ko omu no sɛ onipa bia yɛde bɛma wo a wodi bɛdi dwuma bia no sɛbe eba krono sem anase si ebu afa so pa dia enya de besi na wanso san nim se sabe ko soja mumpo a ye wo military police ono so soja ni oti soja ni eno me kire mu se eye adwuma pa on demand for no ye san so supervisors a abre nyina no omko rounds eko check se adwuma na nipa no de beda ye no sa pepepe ene ye no na se adwuma pa on demand de omama adwuma no aye simple se bibi ni ena onte ase ampacho no wafa numbers no aye gusuo no no wafrɛ